Morning everyone, morning. I hope everyone's well on this Monday morning. As you can see, we've got these things on to try and get rid of the echo. So we did a little show last night for an hour and a half and all seemed to go well. So we're sticking with this. You'll have to let me know in the chat if everything sounds okay, if I'm loud enough, all that sort of stuff, and I can adjust as we go on, but it seemed like it was fine last night. So morning, hope everyone's well. I can see there's plenty of comments in the chat about the weather this morning, and down south you seem to be having it rather on the hot side again today. 32, 33, 34 degrees down south. Nothing like that here, I've got to say. Nothing like that here. Nice and cool. Had a little wander outside this morning. Yeah, it's not too warm, bit overcast, partly cloudy type stuff going on up here. So there's definitely a north-south divide as far as the weather goes. But there you go. What's happening on the Spurs front, people? We've had this player's come in, that player's come in, we want him, we've put a bid in for him. Is it all nonsense? Is it all nonsense? Last week, Ferran Torres was coming to Spurs. He was going to be the bomber, or bomber. Yeah, I haven't heard a thing. He's going to PSG now, apparently. Then it was Victor Osimhen. Can we take him away from Turkey and he's 400 grand a week, pretty much tax-free? Are Spurs going to pay that kind of dough to secure the goals? They might have to, because every day that moves on makes it more difficult to get these deals over the line. Excuse me 1 second. The missus has already bought a cup of tea in, so I've got to have a sip. God, she do make a good cup of tea, my missus. Yeah, so look, we're still in the position of where we are. We've got basically 3 weeks to go until the Premier League starts, and we've got no forwards. So look, I'll tell you where I am with it. Right, everyone keeps saying a couple will do. Just get a left winger and a striker in, we'll be all right. Okay. Right, so we've bought, 6 in already, which is fine. I ain't got any problem with what they've bought in, right? As such, can pick little nitbits out, but as such, it's okay, right? So let's say the midfield and the defence are sorted out. People have still got question marks over Kinski, right? For me, I think you just got, in some areas, you've got to take a chance, let the ball roll. It don't look like they're going to get another keeper in, unless one of the top boys turns up at fair money. I think they'll stick with Kinski until or if he makes a howler. And then we'll go from there with it. Defence, okay. Midfield, okay. Then we get on to the front line. So we've got Matisse Tell on the left. We've got Richie. We've got Solanke. We've got Kudos on the right. And we've got James Maddison as your 10. Right, so let's look at that as a whole. All right, we're saying we need maybe 2. I'm saying we need 5. 5. We've got 1 left winger, so we need another one. There's 1. Right? We've got 2 forwards that are absolutely dire. Now, I understand that they're probably not going to get rid of both of them, but Richie's got to go, and if Richie don't go, Solanke's got to go. One of them's got to go, minimum. If I had my way, they'd both be out. Right? So I'm like of the thing, we need 2 strikers. Well, I know we're not going to get 2, but we need 2. So that's 3 altogether. Kudos ain't even fit. We haven't got a right winger. Right? So let's say he does get back for the start, gets injured again, we're knackered again. So for me, we need a right winger. Savinho, if he came, could play either side. Most wingers can play either side. You know, especially if they're playing on the wrong foot. They can cut inside and so on. So I get that whoever comes in as a left winger could probably cover both. But again, you know, you're just leaving yourself a bit short all the time, aren't you? You're relying on one player to do 2 things, which is fine if they're not injured, right? So I'm just looking at the overall thing of the squad. I know that the chances are that there's not going to be 5 comes in, but when you look at it in layman's terms, tells your left winger, Solanke, Richarlison, Kudos isn't fit, Maddison isn't fit, Simmons isn't fit. We've got no number 10. So you've got 2 shit strikers, a left winger that a lot of people don't like, a right winger that's injured, and a number 10 that's injured. I think that makes 5. But you know we're not going to do 5. You know we're not. And then the other point to all this is as well is that we've got no Europe next season. And at the moment, I believe someone updated me. I thought it was 36, but there's 41 players in this squad as it stands right now. Right? Don't get me wrong, some might be kids. I haven't looked into it too deeply. All right, I saw another thing that Rain put in this morning about non-homegrown. Is it 20 non-homegrown? Right, so we've got to start shifting players out. It's okay saying, well, we want him, and we want him. You know, there's a case to be said. Well, we need to get rid of 10 players. 1, because they're not good enough, and 2, because the squad's too bloated. And you've got a column to bring in better. We've got the money to bring in better, so get on with it. You know, at worst, we should have had the players in that we wanted. So then it gives you 4 weeks to get rid of what you don't. More tea required, people. Sorry. But there you go. It is what it is. Let's have a few hellos. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put the old link in, but give me 5 minutes. If anyone wants to jump on, you're more than welcome. Have your chat about whatever you want to do with Spurs. Just give me 5 minutes to womble through a few of these hellos. I do like to say the hellos in this morning. Big up to Pete. Hope you're well this morning, Pete. Big up to you, mate. Kate's in. I think this was an early one this morning, yeah, before 6:30. Good morning, Mark and Sheriff. Hope you're well. Sheriff's at work. She's on days this week, Kate, but as of obviously he was on nights last week, but he's only got 1 day's work this week so far, which is today. So he might well be on this week, but we'll see. We'll see. But he's at work anyway. 15 degrees and cloudy in Sheffield. That's all cool. Big up, Kate. Kate's saying hello to everyone there. Logan's in. Morning, Logan. Hope you're well this morning, mate. Everyone's well. I do believe everyone's well this morning, Logan. Hope you're well too, mate. Tottenham Trev's in Crete. Big up, Tottenham Trev. Hope you're well this morning, mate. Enjoying yourself on holiday. Sounds like you need it, man. Big up to you. Wembers is in. Big up, Wembers. Great show last night. Missed the beginning and the end, but we'll catch up later. It was a very good show last night, Wembers. He says it's bloody hot in London as well. It was a very good show last night. It was one of those. We was talking in the admin room in the StreamYard thing. Me, Nigel, and Mark, and it's like, do you want to go live then? Sitting here chatting, might as well go live. Why not? Ended up doing an hour and a half, and it was a great show. I had loads of people in the chat. I think it was 140, 150 people in on a Sunday night, just having a chat about strikers and what Tottenham are doing wrong and what they're doing right. You know what it's like, as football fans. Got to have our say, and really enjoyed it. Really, two really good shows yesterday. Really good shows. And hopefully we're on the move, as they say. Let's hope so. Johnny's in. Big up to Johnny. Says, good morning, Vietnam. Robin Williams, I believe. Was that Robin Williams? Good morning, Vietnam? Sure it was. It was a long time ago, mate. I'm going a bit senile, Johnny. Morning to you, mate. Hope you're well this morning. Jim is in. Big up, Jim. He says, big up, Cookie in the chat. Good morning from a very warm northwest, like number 4. Perhaps it's warmed up a bit since I went out this morning then, Jim. It might well have done. Scott's in. Big up, Scott. Morning to you, mate. And Tom Kingham's in as well. Good morning to you, Tom. Hope you're well this morning, mate. I'm a bozo's in. He says, morning, Cookie, Sheriff, and everyone in the chat. Hope we are all fantastic and well. We will be when we get another bloody striker. I'm a bozo. Do you know what I mean? What we doing here? 3 weeks to go till kickoff. Less than 3 weeks now. Marianne's in. Morning, Marianne. Hope you're well this morning. Big up to you. Big up to Nige for sending everyone over. Morning to you, Nige. Great show. As always, don't work too hard, my friend. Don't work too hard. Big Kev's in the chat, YouTube member. Big up, Kev. He says, good morning, the Cookie Meister. Come on, you Spurs. Absolutely. I'm a bozo, says. Sounds perfect. Brilliant. Brilliant. Well, the true test will be when I let Steve in shortly after I've got through these. Sorry, Steve. Shemtam's in. Morning, Shemtam. Hope you're well. Rodney's in. Morning to Rodney. Hope you're well. Phil's in. I've already got Phil booked for deadline day. It's going to be epic. Big up, my friend, the Cookmeister, the chef, everyone in the chat. Get ready for a deadline day September special. And Phil, it's going to be epic. Phil will come with the truth of Tottenham's transfer window and tell us his thoughts about the other teams in the transfer window and the business that they might have done to improve their squads and their teams. So there'll be plenty of chat about when Phil comes on deadline day. Phil, looking forward to it as ever, my friend. Kate says it sounds good. Well, I hope it does, Kate. I hope it does. Yeah, I'm very, very technical, Kate, as you can see. But it seems to have stopped the echo, which is the main thing. We'll find out more in a minute when Steve comes on. Morning, Claire. Hope you're well this morning. Snipers is in. Big up, Sniper. Says, morning, mate. I see Cologne are in advanced talks with Mikey Moore for a loan. Well, listen, I think he's got to go out on loan. Snipers, there's no doubt about that. He's not ready yet. I'd say give him another year. Whether Cologne's the right place for him to be going, attacking football, that, letting him get down the line and all that sort of stuff. We'll see, mate. For me, I was a bit of a Mikey Moore fan, but if he's not going to make it, sell him and get the dough. Vuskovic sold him, got the dough. Yeah, if they don't think he's going to make it, he's not going to make it. And if he goes elsewhere and he does make it, fair play to him, man. We're not the ones that are saying, yep, you stay, yeah, I want you. They're doing that. They're the bosses of it all. So he'll either make it or he won't make it. We'll see. Didn't have a bad loan at Rangers last season, but he's got to step up again. Kev, big up to you, Kev. He says, Cookie, you look professional now with the headphones. Get in there. I don't know about professional. It's very weird because it shuts you right off, Kev, earphones-wise. and you've got to be careful that you're not shouting too loud because you can't really hear yourself. It's mad, isn't it? But there you go. Thanks, Kev. Appreciate it, mate. Appreciate anything for a better sound quality because I was hearing the echo for the last week or so. So God knows what it sounded like for you lot. And also, the missus says coming through coming through the phone, it weren't so bad. But if you had it on the telly, it was awful. It was awful. So big up to all of you for bearing with us as such. Lee's in. May the force be with you, Lee, as always. Big up to you, my friend. Bulb Buzzard's in. Morning, boys. YouTube member. So Romano says Gakpo, good player, but if a bomber was a balloon, it's not quite fully pumped up. With Gakpo, I like Gakpo. I like him. I agree with you. I don't think he's a bomber, but I think he's a very good player. He can get a bit frustrating at times, but when he's on it, he's going to score you goals, and he's going to create stuff as well. So listen, I think what people are getting, what's the word, confused with is, I think this is a small step thing, right? I think a lot of people are expecting 11 players to come in, for argument's sake, like we've got 6 now. Maybe there's another few coming in. Maybe we get 9 in altogether, right? And it's going to be, this is the team that's going to go and win the league, win the cup. No, not necessarily, because this should be about getting in first team players what he needs now, because we have to understand there was so much wrong with this squad. So much wrong with this squad, right? Since 2019, it's been heading in the wrong direction, right? To make up for the best part of 7 years worth of, probably a bit longer than that, 7, 8 years worth of mismanagement, if you like, different managers coming in. I want this one. I want this one. And then you're getting a squad of players that's been bought over 4 or 5 managers, probably more, that can't gel together. So it's all about the planning, and this is why I think it's really important that the right DOF is in charge of the club with De Zerbi as the manager. Let them work together. We've got the money. So let them talk about who they want, let them talk about who's a good fit, and let the DOF go and do the biz for De Zerbi and let him get on with his job. Listen, anyone has been mentioned about coming to Spurs. Even Hendrick from Real Madrid, Ferran Torres, Oshiman. There's loads of them, Krupi. Thiago has been mentioned. Igor Jesus has been mentioned, amongst others. So look, we're going to have to wait and see. We're going to have to be patient. Ideally, we would have liked everyone in, before the main pre-season games take effect. The ones after the tour, Getafe at home coming up, Hoffenheim a couple of times coming up. I would have liked to have had all the players in, or at least the majority. If there was one outstanding, fine, right? But at least have the majority of the players in for these 3 games that are coming up. So at least give them a couple of 100 minutes to gel together on the football pitch, But again, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to see what they've got up their sleeves up there, and what Mr. De Zerbi has got up his sleeve down here. Let's get Steve in. Sorry, Steve, kept you waiting there for so long, mate. I've probably still missed a few people. Let me just carry on for a sec, Steve. Big up to Joe. Big up to Mark Robinson. Hope you're well, mate. Hope you're well. Morning to Jane. Hope you're well, Jane. Bella, morning to Bella. Yeah, absolutely can. So can Gatco. Gatco, left, right, centre. Can play as a 10 as well. Conor McGregor, I was going to say then. Conor Gallagher, right wing cover, but he's not really a right winger, is he? Let's be fair, Golden Son. He's an 8, really, isn't he? So it is what it is. Danny, I went to Smith's Toys. It's an Xbox. Something to do with Xbox. Anyway, but not for gaming as such, for doing this stuff. So, yeah, and it all seems to be working all right, man. I think they was 15 quid. I've plugged them, got the lead, plug into the back of this thing, got my volume thing, set it all up on the volume on the thing, and this is where we've got to. So Steve's in. He says it's okay. I think Ellie's trying to get in, but it's not connecting. Keep trying, Ellie. Keep trying. We'll get you on. Let me just make sure. There's Steve there saying morning to everyone. Paige is in. Big up, Paigey. World Under's in. Here we go. There's Ellie in. Alfie's in. Big up, Alfie. Phil's in. Big up, Phil. F Sank's in. Big up, F Sank. Bloody hell, there's so many comments. You lot are unbelievable. Big up, Benji. Morning, Benji. Hope you're well. Ghost is in. Big up, Ghost. Sorry if I've missed anyone. Phil Coys, Colin, Killer Clicks. They're all in this morning. Celery Agent. Yeah, there we go. And we're at the bottom with 100 people in the house this morning. Smash the sub, smash the like, as they say. Good morning to Steve. Good morning to Ellie. How the devil are you both this morning? Sorry.
All right.
Yeah, good, mate.
We're
you know
good.
you said about what, Ellie? Sorry.
We're good. We beat Chelsea. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Let's start. We want to come on, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You said about. Sorry, mate. You know what you said about managers, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, including Poch and interims. 10 managers in the last 7 years.
There you go. There you go. So, go on, Ellie.
Yeah. 10 managers, a lot of bad signings. Levy's gone, thank God. Sean Butler is crying. And he needs his dummy. I'm calling him out there. I'm calling you out, Sean Butler. Yeah, that's all I've got to say. I better stop because I might get myself in trouble.
Yeah, don't get yourself in trouble.
I like a bit of trouble.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. And Maz has joined us as well this morning. Morning, Maz. How are you, mate?
Morning, mate. Yeah, good. You?
Yeah, I'm all good, mate. I'm all good. I'm glad that we beat Chelsea, even though it was a friendly, even though it was a very poor match by all accounts from both sides. But to beat them with 10 men, I'll take that, guys and girls, won't you?
Yeah.
Some of our tackles weren't friendly though, especially Gallagher after 8 minutes.
I love it. He went steaming in, didn't he? He went steaming in. Take that from the Chelsea. You rejected me, so I'm going to get you.
Red card in the Premier League, isn't it, that one? Yeah, he just went straight through him. He didn't care. And then Van Hecker sort of kind of tackled someone and they were on the ground complaining. And he just looked and smiled and was like, yes, get in, Van Hecker.
It's the Italian job by deserving.
I'll take any win over Chelsea. I've got a friendly or not. Mind you, we beat Arsenal 1-0 in a friendly, wasn't it, last year?
Yeah, we did.
In the
Pepe Sarr scored, didn't it? From the halfway line.
Saint Frank masterclass.
Well, yeah. Let's hope. Go on.
Wasn't that Sarr's last goal for us? Because I don't remember him scoring last season.
I don't know. I can't remember. It could have been Steve, actually. I don't know if he scored any last season, did he? I can't remember. I'm sure he scored one. Anyway, moving on, people. We've got 3 weeks to go now with a season to go. Is now another week's gone by. Are any of you, maybe panicking's not the right word, but a bit more sceptical of what's going on. Did you expect more? Is what I can ask you, considering we've got the Tonali, we've got the Fernandez, we've got the other stuff done before that, but we've now gone 2 weeks with nothing. Does that concern you at all, any of you, or is it just a case of they're working on deals and we've got to be patient?
I'm not panicking. I'm apprehensive. I think is the word I want to use today. Is apprehensive. Now, like you said, great start to the window. Business was done early and things like that. And now, like as every preseason game goes on, we can see what we've seen for ages is still that our front line is just absolutely awful. I know Richie scored the other day. He scored one previously in pre-season as well, but for that whole 45 minutes until he scored, he did absolutely nothing. We just looked toothless up front, right? And we can all see it, and that was our major problem last season is we've got no front line, okay? I'm hoping that they're addressing it and getting deals done behind the scenes. I really am. Who those players are, I don't know. The Sabino deal seems to have stalled a bit, so that's a bit concerning. Looks like Gakpo could be on his way, but we need strikers. We need strikers, 100%. And that's the worry for me is who's that striker going to be? And are they going to come in before season starts? So that's where I'm at with it. I'm apprehensive. Long story short, is apprehensive.
Yeah, fair play, Steve. Fair play. Ellie, how are you feeling about it? Is she still there? Ellie, are you there? No? Is Maz there?
I am.
Oh, Maz is there. There you go. Sorry.
How am I feeling about it?
How are you feeling, Maz, so far? What we've done, the gap between and where we're going from now till the end of the window.
Do you remember the conversation we had a month and a bit ago when we signed, a month ago or so, when we signed Fernandez, Tonali, and I came on and I said, yeah, it's great, but I want to see what happens after those signings.
Yeah.
And that is the ENIC curse. They'll do something really good and you think, oh yeah, all right, okay, maybe they've changed. It's a bit like, that bad relationship, oh, maybe he's changed or maybe she's changed, doing something a little bit different, and then they sort of revert back to type. No, look, I think we've got to give them time. We've got to give them the benefit of the doubt. Okay. Making big signings obviously takes a lot of work, and some are easier than others, especially when you're dealing with the bigger clubs, right? So we're trying to sign Gakpo. I think it's a good player. It's certainly a step above what we currently have. I think what people got to remember when they look at stats is his stats at a much bigger club where they're getting goals all over the park, right? And if he comes to Spurs, he'll be the bigger fish out of that current group of players, regardless of what we think on paper his ability is overall in the league. And getting a deal like that done does take time, certainly with the bigger clubs, because they're going to negotiate harder, right? They're going to try and get as much money out of us as possible from that respect. So I think we've got to see what happens. I'm not going to say I'm concerned, because I'm not concerned. I think when you have a really good manager like Roberto De Zerbi, and I rate him really, really highly, I have done for many years, and you see what he's done in a very short period of time, we look much more organised, we look much more confident on the ball. Our pressing's excellent. He's addressed, in my eyes, some of the problems in the squad early and really well, and you can see that in the way he talks about it, where he said to people, look, it's not whether I want you to stay, it's whether you want to stay, and if you don't want to stay, then you can go. I love that mentality. So we know Romero is going to be on his way out, hopefully, if someone will buy him, and Vicario. is one of those people, and hopefully he gets rid of the fringe players like Sarr and Bergvall, and just to make room in the squad for further players. But you know, I wouldn't say I'm worried because Roberto De Zerbi is a good manager, and I trust in him that he's gonna make the right call. But we just have to see what happens, right?
Yep, we do. Ellie, are you back yet? Are you there, Ellie? No, she's gone quiet. Ellie's gone quiet. I've been waiting for her to come on for a few days now, and she's lost her signal, or she's doing other stuff. Who knows? Tottenham Trev says here, be patient, I'd say, but we should be fishing for players from a bigger pool of players, not just in the Prem. How do you guys see it? Like we're going for players that have played in the Premier League. It seems to be anyway. Does that change for anyone, or do you think that is what we are just going to look for in this window?
No Europe and 17th twice in a row. So, you know, I think we've got to look at where we are as a club right now, I think. But I do you know what? I mean, the Tonali one was a big shocker for me. Do you know what I mean? Because I was not expecting us to ever go out and spend £100 million on one player. You know, it's just unheard of. So, yeah, I think Prem-proven players are good, but when we're going for bigger players, I think it might be a bit difficult, which is why I'm not taking this Osherman rumours too seriously. Because, you know, as much as I'd love him to be at Tottenham Hotspur, is he going to want to come? It depends on his wages, doesn't it? Because I think I read somewhere he's on 350 grand a week or something. Is it something like that?
Something like that. Yeah, 400 grand.
And then you've got all his image rights and stuff on top of that as well. So if you're going to get an Osterman done and you can convince him to come, there's going to be a lot of blocks to get through before you can actually officially sign him. So I think as much as I like him, I don't know if it's going to happen. Look, Enoch may shock us and go, yeah, fine, here he is, but I'm not. I'm not holding my breath at the moment, but I am worried though, because like I say, if we go into that season with Solanke and Richie, like Solanke just has done nothing. Solanke literally the other day did nothing, and I'm like, it looked like he didn't want to be on the pitch. If I'm brutally honest, it didn't look like he wanted to be there. So yeah, I'm a bit concerned, but we do, like you say, we do need to address it. But yeah, like Maz said.
Go on, Maz. Go on, Steve.
Yeah, sorry, like Maz said, we just got to give him time, you know. So we shall see.
I mean, where are you guys at with it? As far as like a lot of people saying left winger and a striker, we'll be all right as long as we get that. I'm a bit. Again, I know we can't do everything as such, or perhaps we can do everything, but. You know, under normal circumstances, we can't. Like I said, we've got 6 in. They're talking about another 2 or 3. But I'm looking at the front line. And thinking straight away, right, tells your left winger at the moment, right? So tells your left winger, we need another left winger. We all know that. The 2 strikers, for me, are not worth a rub. Now, I know that probably Solanke will stay, Richarlison will go. Whichever way round it is, one of them will probably go and one will come in. But I still maintain they're both shit and they both need to go, right? So that's 3 for me. The right winger, Kudos, not fit, right? He may well be fit for the start of the season, but what's to say? He breaks down again. We haven't got anyone else. Sorry, someone put in the chat, well, Conor Gallagher a cover at right wing. No, that ain't good enough. That's not good enough for me. So that's 4. And then on top of that, you've got a number 10s that are not fit. Maddison, not fit. Simmons, not fit. Kulu, if you wanted to put him there, not fit.
This is what actually concerns me, is the fact that I think a lot of these players that we're expecting to leave will end up staying because of the fact that all of our top players are constantly injured. I mean, this may sound brutal, but I think we should just get rid of Maddison. You know, like you can't have a player that's constantly injured. Same with Udogie. You can't have a player that's constantly injured. You need to. The players take responsibility for this as well. It's not all the club. You know, they have to put the work in. They have to make sure that they're fit and healthy, and their muscles are strong, and they're eating right, and they're exercising well, and they're doing all the correct things. And it seems to me that players come to Spurs that never had injury records, and they fall into the same sort of Spursy malaise as everyone else does, and they start getting injured. Whereas if you take a look at Pedro Porro, who goes over and above and beyond to keep himself fit, and he plays nearly every single game for us, and he never gets injured. How does he do it? I mean, even Emerson Royale, when he first came, didn't he invest tons of money in making sure that he was physically fit, and he was rarely injured as well. For me, it's also the players' responsibility to make sure that they keep themselves in tip-top shape and fit. It's not just the club. And I fear that we're going to keep a lot of these players because of the fact that all of our other players are getting injured. And Roberto De Zerbi, the reason why I think he's speaking like this in regards to someone like Bergvall is because he's thinking to himself, well, if Maddison's constantly injured, right, Xavi's not coming back until second half of the season, Kulu's probably never going to play again. That's 3 players, starting players, that aren't going to be around. So if I get rid of Bergvall now, who the hell am I going to get in? And he needs to see from the club the players that are actually going to come in. That's why I think we need to be a little bit, temper our expectations. People saying, Gakpo's not good enough. Look at his GA and all that sort of stuff. And I'm like, well, it's a lot better than what we've bloody got at the moment. A lot better. It's not even in comparison.
Gakpo is plenty good enough for Spurs, right? And it can take us to another level because he's got more in him as well. Because he's still quite young. He's not old. He's going to hit his peak, and then we'll see the best of him. And with Maddison, Maz, right? They've made him captain, so that's really going against the grain, really, because you're thinking, right, he's constantly injured. He was constantly injured for Leicester City as well. So he had a track record of being injured, right? So we've got 2 there. Then we've got Kulu's done his patella, right? So he might not ever play again, like you said. We're not sure if he's going to come back. And if he does, what Kulu are we going to get? And then you've got Xavi, who's injured till next season. And like you said, Porro, he works on himself. And so did Emerson Royal, and so did Pape Sarr. I saw Pape Sarr got his own fitness trainer because he wanted to get back into the first team, and he didn't quite make it, the lad, because he lacks technical skill, right? So we've got a lot of players that are not fitting what we need, either through injury or through lack of technique. Because one thing's for sure, under De Zerbi, you need to be a technical player that can move the ball quickly and control the ball. And we saw with Danzo, and this one's for Still actually, right? We saw with Danzo that he couldn't control the ball, right? And I do love the player, by the way, so I'm caveating this, right? But you saw him, and he made a klutz of himself, and then he had the presence of mind to take the player down so that he wouldn't go through and score because he was the last man standing, right? So there's a lot of players who, other than the ones we've mentioned, who have had injury problems as well, like your Kuduses, right, and Richarlison's and Solanke's. We've got a team of unfit players, really. And now we've left with a forward line that's going to be similar to what last year. So I'm not panicking, but I want to see some new players come up front for us, because if we go with these players, we're going to not really finish much higher than we did last season. I can't see us finishing in the top 6 if we go with these players, even with Tonali and Fernandes and Van Hecke, right? Because if you haven't got somebody to finish your dinner, right, all that good work is going to go to waste. right? Because Tonali doesn't score. Hernandez is not a big Fernandez, sorry, not Hernandez, sorry. Doesn't score a lot. They might score a few more for us, I must admit. They might do. But we can't bank on it, can we, lads?
No.
No, and the
No.
thing for me is right. We're hearing the same excuses coming out that we've heard for the last 3 years. Oh, it's just a knock. He's got a slight problem. Now we all know at Tottenham Hotspur that these knocks and these slight problems are a lot worse than they're letting on. Like Madison, he's not played a single minute of pre-season yet. Right. So if he's not fit enough, why do you take him all the way to blooming Australia and New Zealand? Yeah. What's the
I think
point? You
they
might as well
took him
just
to
keep.
play golf.
Yeah, you just keep him back at Hotspur way with like your Kuduses, your Kulus, your Senessis, and the thing for me also is what you got to remember about Porro and Spence, right? Two players that went far in the World Cup, right? They're still on holiday, yeah. So they've got to come back and do a decent bit of training before you can even consider playing them. Because if you like don't if they don't get a lot of training into them, and then you start chucking them into a game, what's to say they won't break down because they've not had the proper rest that they need after, like you say, Porro, right? I think he missed one Premier League game last season, was it? So he was
Yeah.
pretty much nailed on, like starting every week for us last year, and he's played all of the World Cup as well. Yeah, so that's
Right.
another 8 games. So you don't want to bring him back and then go, right, we're going to chuck you in. I know we've only got one game a week, but you're not going to chuck him in and go, you're going to risk him because he could break down as well. You just don't know. So, because we all know our medical staff are just, absolutely useless. Do you know what I mean? It's like we've got our medical staff out of Timu. Do you know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. So, but yeah, I just think you can't be
Big up,
rushing these.
Tino.
Huh?
Look,
Big up Timu.
I'm, I've got to run for a wee, so I'm going to let
All
you three
right.
continue
Yeah,
this
we can
conversation
we
just
can
for a minute.
talk.
All right.
We
Sorry
can
about
talk.
that.
See,
Yeah.
It,
I won't be
I
there.
agree with I agree with both of you, right? And I feel that our club have always left us short, right? And we've been struggling to win trophies. 2 trophies in 26 years, right? It's just not good enough. And people that say, what did we do before that, before the 26 years before? Well, we done double, right? It's still not brilliant, but we did double the amount of trophies, right? And we were more relevant because we were playing attractive football. And all right, into Levy's few years, the first year we got to the League Cup final, lost to Blackburn, and then we lost a lot of finals, didn't we? Right?
yeah.
Which the biggest one was the Champions League final. But we've got to push on. We can't stay Tottenham Hotspur, we're here. We want to be Tottenham Hotspur, we're up there. Yeah, we're not. We don't want to be second, third, fourth, or fifth. We want to be first. If you've got ambition, you build, right, and then you build again, and you build again, and you get what Arsenal did. Right, they've won the league now, and they got the Champions League final as well. And it was a penalty shootout that they lost it. We want a bit of that. We want a bit of that action, right? And if we're going to do it, they've got to be serious and actually make sure that they strengthen all positions so that we can have a squad of players. And strength of squad is important. And you saw it with Arsenal. They've won the bloody league, for God's sake. And they're going to be bantering us all season.
I missed the conversation. What was you up to? Who was you talking about?
Ellie was just saying
That,
about leaving us short and stuff,
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
leaving us short every bloody year, every season. We don't fill all the gaps, do we? And we don't
Well,
strengthen it. We don't build. It's
what
ridiculous. We're
what
like,
what is different? I think now, certainly, and we had this a little bit with Conte and Jose, I guess to a certain extent as well. Is that you've got a manager that isn't scared to say what he wants publicly,
Yeah.
and put pressure on the board publicly. That is what the top managers do. They command their discipline and the area around them, and they communicate really well with what is required for the team to do well. And De Zerbi's come out and he's basically said, I'm expecting at least 2 or 3 top players to come in, or I don't know whether it's a top players, but big players to come in, Bombers or whatever, right? And that lays down the marker, right? And what he's doing there is very clever because he's protecting himself, because he's basically saying, you've got to bring me in these players, because if we don't do well next season, I'm going to say, do you remember when I said we need 2 or 3 top players to finish the forward lineup? You didn't get them for me. Well, what did you expect? And then he'll piss off, blow everything up. And when he does do that, I can't wait for the Conte Part 2. I've been waiting for that sequel for quite a while now. So I think that's why I've got a lot more confidence in De Zerbi over and above someone like St. Frank, because he's a proper manager with standards, and he demands a lot from the clubs, and that's what you want your manager, your leader, to be. And this is in the black. And I'm going to go against him now. The black marks for me that he's done so far, that gives you hints of the old Spurs, is when you sign on players like Ben Davies, still at the club. That still baffles me, regardless of whether he wants to do his coaching badges or not. Send him somewhere else. He can get his badges elsewhere. It doesn't have to be at Spurs.
Do you know what, Maz? I think with Ben Davies, just to interact, sorry to interrupt, but just with Ben Davies, I think he's so liked at the club that they just so sentimental about him that they can't shift him on. It's just one of those things. They're never gonna get rid of him, right? And he'll be doing his coaching badges, and he'll probably be the coach of the youth, I would imagine. That's what I feel.
Well, then, yeah.
It's
I
not
don't know. Maybe it's a pill we have to swallow on that front. But the other thing that really disappoints me, and you guys mentioned it earlier, is giving Maddison the captaincy armband. The first thing I thought when he gave it to him is, but he's never fucking playing. The guy's never there. So how can you give?
Sorry, mate. Go, Matt. You go.
I was going to say, how can you give the captaincy armband to a player that is injured half of the season generally, or third of the season?
Yeah.
It's stupid. What I would have done, sorry, mate, I'll just finish. What I would have done is I would have given it to someone like a Porro or maybe a Van der Ven, because he wasn't as injured as much last year, right? Or even possibly someone like, that's going to play all the time. I guess who else? Yeah, I think they're the only real 2 options, to be honest with you, that will generally always be in the team. And I know, Mickey Van der Ven, and it's not guaranteed, but I don't think the club would go all out to persuade him to stay if they're never guaranteed that he's going to be starting every week, especially with his potential that he has as a player that he hasn't reached yet. So yeah, that's my 2p.
Has the Maddison captaincy thing been officially announced though? Because this for me is the thing, right? Because obviously we've still got Romero at the moment, right? So Romero is going to come back and he's still captain, right, until he gets sold, right? So has the actual Maddison thing been confirmed yet? I know there was talk about it, but has it actually been officially announced?
I think it has.
That's a good point.
I don't know.
I think there was rumblings that Maddison was good. Like a lot of people have said, Maddison's going to be the next captain, but I don't actually think it should be officially announced yet, due to the fact is, because if you're Romero, right, you're going anyway, right? But if by chance you have to come back for pre-season before a deal is done, right? Until he's been told he's no longer captain, and then I think that would cause a lot of problems with Romero, as in, like, while he's still here, it would kick off with him and things like that. So, but the Maddison thing I'm holding hang fire with. But you said about Ben Davies, Maz, that they signed him on for another deal, right? My biggest worry was when there was rumours about stories about Mawani. Apparently, Spurs were like wanted him to come back, and I was freaking out. And I cheered yesterday when I found out he'd signed for Juventus. I literally was like, well, at least that's one player that Spurs aren't going to be going, we're going to put him. He had a shocking season last year, but we'll sign him on a 3-year deal. Do you know what I mean? And that's your main striker for next season with Solanke and Richarlison, or either or. Do you know what I mean? So I was a bit relieved when I saw the announcement that he signed for Juventus. I was a bit like, well, there you
I
go.
get that.
That cut's a bit different now. Do you know what I mean? Because
Not-
we did with Werner and Tell, two players that. Now I know Tell could come good. I'm not slating Tell. I think he's got a lot of potential and he needs time to develop, right? And if he's sticking around, great. You know, hopefully De Zerbi can work with him a bit more, but obviously he needs to be a backup to another left winger. Do you know what I mean? And give him time to develop, like your Williams Barnett as well. He needs time to be around the first team, but not starting, being given time to develop and stuff. And that's what I want. But yeah, I'm just.
But you can't. But the thing is, though, how Tell is going to be 20 this year, isn't he? Right? Or is he 20 already? I think he was 19 at this time.
He's 20.
Is he 21 now?
I think he's 20.
20 or 21, isn't he?
Well, you can't give him too much longer because we'll do the same thing as what we do with everyone bloody else. We keep them, and they never come good.
Yeah,
right? So, and the problem is with signing of Tell, and people say, it's not his fault he got signed for 35, 40 million. Well, it kind of is his fault because, you know, he gets his agent to go out there, right? And based upon the types of money that the clubs spend on their transfer fees, which their agents get a cut off, they get, right? They get their bigger salaries and stuff, right? So they are culpable as well for the fees that they go for, and certainly their agents are. So if you're buying a £40 million player a season or two ago, right, which was a lot of money, then I want him to perform. And he hasn't done anything to show me, apart from a moment or two here and there, which every player does, even the crap ones, right, that suggests that he's got any more potential than anyone else. Solomon has done more than him in a Spurs shirt. You know, it's
he's 21, by the way. He's 21. I was just looking at his records. He started at Rensby, then he went to the first team in 2021-22. He played 7 times for the first team, didn't score any goals. Then he went to Bayern Munich. So they must have saw some potential. I don't know what. Maybe they were watching him in under-21s, because in the under-21s and the under-19s, he performed very well. Even the under-18s, he played 11 times, scored 8 goals. France under 19s, 12 played 12, scored 7. France under 21s played 20, scored 12. So they must have been watching him there, because that Ron, he didn't score any goals apart from the B team where he played 6 and scored 6. And then he went to Bayern Munich. He played 60 games and scored 12 goals. Then he came to us on loan. He's played, according to this, he's played 13 times, but that can't be right. And he scored twice. I think he scored more than twice, hasn't he?
He's played more than
that was
13
his.
times.
Yeah,
Wow.
sorry, that was his loan spell. 13 games, 2 goals, and then 31 games he played for us, and he scored 4. Right, so he's got to step up, hasn't he? He's got to prove himself. I saw a little bit of potential in him early doors, and then he went off the boil, and then he came back a little bit more. He shows little bits of He's what I call him is a moments player, like Maz described. He'll score a goal, right, and then it'll go missing, or he'll just won't take on his man, and he'll check back and he'll pass infield. I just think he needs more confidence as well, because I see him and he just doesn't take on his man all the time. But in the pre-season, I saw him do one really good sort of Lucas Moura dribble, and he went through the whole team, but he missed the goal. And that's the story of Tell. He just doesn't. He's not a clinical finisher for starters, is he?
Do you remember how harsh we were on players like Lamela and Lucas Moura?
Yes.
Right,
And better than him.
And they are miles better than what we've got now. Like leagues better than what we've got now. Right. So I'm very cautious about, you know, we done a show on, you know, Mark did a show, didn't he, on standards, and I'm very wary about just dropping our standards just because Tottenham Hotspur have been so woeful. over the for quite a number of years now.
Yeah, we have.
We shouldn't drop our standards. The standards were set when Joel Redknapp and Poch were with us, and the types of players that they had. Why should we accept anything less than what those guys had? I thought, if we're building something, we're building this club, right? Then surely the way you build is you get better than what you had before. That's how all the other big teams do it. So why are we accepting less now? We shouldn't.
True. We want winning football. We want to win trophies. Why are we in football? Just to take part, right? We're not a small club. We're a big club acting like a small club, right? And it's only this season where we've gone out and splashed the cash, right, with the right players, because we've spent money before, but we spent it very, very badly, right? We've made so many errors in the transfer market, not doing our due diligence on the players' characters, or how they will fit into the side as well, and the style of play. And what I saw in pre-season, guys, is I saw a really good way of playing football, like high pressing, right? They, like we did against Aston Villa when we high pressed, yeah. And I saw some little changes in the formation and the tactics, right? But they were subtle changes, but they were brilliant changes, because it was like progressive football played very quickly through the lines, and I loved it. And I only watched the first half of the Chelsea game because I couldn't watch the second half. I was viewing houses, but I was very impressed with the way we played, and I just want to see more of that. But I want to have better finishers up front, because we created a lot of chances, but we just couldn't finish the chances because they're not good enough. They're not good enough off top, and we didn't even have the better ones. We had Solanke there, and he was like a passenger, really. He wasn't
I
really
think,
in the game.
yeah,
What I
I think
saw,
up until
I only saw the first half. I don't know about the second half, whether he played better or if they took him off.
I think in the second half, I think we had up until we scored that second goal, that last minute winner. I think we'd had one touch in the opposition box. I think up until that point, which
So what
for
did we
me
do?
says a
Did you
lot
retreat?
of where we are.
What did we retreat and let
Yeah,
Chelsea
I mean,
come up?
I'll give them their dues. I'll give them their dues though. They, with all the changes he was making and the fact that we played the second half. I think we did really well in the second half, considering we were down to 10 men. I don't care if it was B team, A team, whatever. I think we showed a lot of resilience that day. And Kidsky made 3 outstanding saves in the second half. Do you know what I mean? Especially the one where it comes straight at him and he just tipped it
Yeah,
onto
I
the
saw
bar.
that.
So,
Brilliant.
which he
His
did obviously a
distribution
couple
was
of times
good.
last season. Yeah, do you know what? Actually, when
Yeah.
he was with the ball, there was a couple of times I was like, "Oh, that's a bit close," and he just managed to pass it, and I was like, "Blooming neck." Do you know what I mean? But morning, Danny. You all right?
Morning, Dan. Is he there?
Is he there?
Hello?
Is he gone? Danny?
Mo-
Hello?
He's
Yes,
there.
you're there. Yeah.
Morning.
He's there.
He's
I don't
here.
know.
He's
I
there.
think
He's
my mic's really,
everywhere. He's
really
Danny
low.
Kane. It's Danny Kane. I thought I'd welcome you, Danny.
That's a good welcome.
How are you, Dan? Have you been listening to the chat for the last?
Yeah, I have been listening. Yeah, it's been good chat. It's been
What's
good.
what's your thoughts, Dan? Listen, I know everyone's got different perspective on it, and there's a comment that I've just brought to starred up here, which is from Joey, right? Which says his biggest fear is that the mob upstairs expect instant miracles from RDZ, and if they are not forthcoming, which is most likely, they shit the bed and sack him, sending us back to square one again.
Oh, no.
Now,
I've got to take a call. I'll be back in a sec.
all right, Dan. Cheers, mate. Anyone else like to comment on Joey's thing here? Because listen, we've been there before, right? We know what it's all about when Enoch don't do what they're meant to be doing. They've started as they said they would. Joey's fear is that it could just all stop. Does anyone believe that they could do that or that could happen?
Absolutely. Of course it could happen. Because,
So that would
like
be
I said,
it.
if they don't back him and he doesn't get the players that he needs, and he does the Conte Part 2, which I will stress again, I'm really looking forward to, then it could all come crumbling down. Absolutely. Because where do they go then? Who, there's only so... We're getting to that point now where we've spent so many managers that all the other top managers will start thinking, oh, do I really want to go to Spurs? And certainly after the damage that Jose and Conte by us sacking them caused to Tottenham Hotspur, because it wards off other top managers. So if are these egos, then who else is going to come in? You're going to have to go either the cut below or maybe someone like Areola or someone like that if he hasn't been snapped up by a bigger club, or
is it Liverpool?
The Newcastle guys just left Worcester Howe. Yeah. Is that really progression? I'm not sure it really is progression for us. And again, I'm just comparing it to past managers that were good.
Yeah. Do you know what though? You're waiting for Roberto De Zerbi Part 2 for Conte, right? But we've already had managers who've left, right? Frank's never going to do anything, but Ange Postecoglou, right? He's called out the club on the overlap, right? Saying
but he's so self-centered. He's so he loves to rewrite.
I don't believe that.
That guy loves rewriting history.
He's not
with all the
self-centered. He's
bullshit that he done.
He's Greek like us.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Right?
Yeah.
When Greeks are hurt,
either.
when Greeks, he's a hurt man, right? Because he won us a trophy and then we just stumped him, right? I don't think the Enoch like winners, right? Because he is a bloody winner, Ange Postecoglou. Right,
yeah,
I don't
so
care
much
what
of a winner. Yeah,
all the
so much of a winner.
All the Ange haters.
No,
He's a winner.
So much of a winner that he's gone to Saudi. Yeah, so much of a winner that all the clubs in Europe wanted him, and he went to Saudi.
That doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't mean anything. Of course it does.
It's a payday for him. Remember, he's 60 odd, right? He's getting on a bit.
If you're a top manager, a winning manager like you.
But nobody said he's a top manager. Right? I said he's a winner. Right? I didn't say he's a top manager. I said he's a winner.
Done. He's won over the tea ladies. I mean, like, come on, what kind of statement is that, Ellie?
No. He's a winner.
No.
Ange Postecoglou knows how to win. He knows how to win. I'm with Stel on this one.
So if he's a winner, if he is such a winner, why didn't any other Premier League clubs or European clubs go after him?
Well, they did. Nottingham Forest went after him.
Yeah, and look what happened there. How long did he survive there?
Yeah, because a manager needs time. You can't sack him after 9 games.
What?
Right?
And you can when you don't win any.
They did exactly what they did to Ange Postecoglou, that they did to Conte, that they did to Jose Mourinho, that they did to Martin Jol.
No, they didn't.
Every single manager.
They spent 400 million under Postecoglou. They spent 400 million under him, and he built one of the worst squads we have seen at Spurs. And as a result of that,
they bought Solanke and 3 kids.
And did he accepted them?
That doesn't mean anything. That means he's going with his employer. It's like when you're in a job, right? You're working in a job.
No.
And they don't give you the tools.
When you're a manager in a high performing organisation, you've got a lot of say.
We're not high performing though. When has Spurs been high performing?
Under him, we weren't. No, of course we weren't.
Well, we were because we won. We won something.
And we finished 17th.
We won a trophy.
And he built one of the worst squads that we've ever seen at Spurs.
No, he didn't build it. Enoch built it.
Didn't he?
No.
Right. So now we're advocating responsibility of people now as well.
He said it. He said they gave me
So why did we get rid of Rande Ramos then? Why did we get rid of Rande Ramos?
Because, well, we started badly.
It's not his fault. Oh, no, it's not his fault, is it? Well, why did we get rid of ABB? Oh, it's not his fault either. Why did we get rid of...
They all started badly.
Nuno? Oh, it's not his fault either.
ABB lost it a bit.
When you go into top Premier League club, right? You have to perform, right?
We're not a top Premier League club, are we?
We are. What are you talking
No, we're
about?
not.
Yes,
We've only competed 4 times in the last 26 years. Well, that's not a top club.
But we're a top 6 club.
Not really.
Our average position has been something like 6th or 5th in the last 20 years. Our average position has been 5th or 6th, something along those lines in the last 20 plus years.
No, but right, okay, well, you're saying
we've litigated this in depth with Ange at the helm to death. The whole of that season when Ange was there, we talked about this a million times, and I get really pissed off when everyone tries to rewrite history about what a great manager was, and Stell is part of this, and he knows my thoughts on this.
No, we're not saying he's a great manager. I'm saying he's a winner. He wins.
Right, so you want a shit manager that just wins randomly?
If not randomly, if he
it
was
is random.
Listen, if he was given the players to play his style of football, he would have been more successful. But they gave him Solanke and 3 kids.
You can levy that argument against any manager and any club anywhere ever, can't you? We say, fans say this thing like it's gospel. If he gets these players, they will be able to do this. The point is, he got given 350 to 400 million pounds, right? Frank also got given 217 million pounds, I think, and I had that argument with Lubo and Danny, right? And they bought the fittest players that built one of the worst squads we have seen at Spurs for a very, very long time. And now we're in a position.
Postecoglou built that squad? No way. He was given
he accepted
players.
it. I'm in charge of all the players that come in and out of the door. Big old Ange, he calls up the players and gets them to come in.
Yeah, but you're letting your hate for his style of football sort of cloud the vision that he could have done a lot better, because look how he started, right? He won 8 games and drew 2. That was a Premiership record, right? And then they say, oh, they found out his tactics. No, the flipping players didn't do what he wanted them to do.
Whose fault is
and
that?
They weren't technically good enough to do what he wanted them to do.
If the whole team doesn't do what their managers want, whose fault is that? Is it the manager?
They weren't technically good enough to play his style most of the season.
Rubbish. Plays in.
Look at the players he got given. Brennan Johnson.
So the players under Conte were technically good enough when he had the worst back 4, back 5 we've ever seen at Spurs. They were technically good enough. But Ange, when he had Van de Ven, Romero, Porro, Udogie, right, they weren't good enough. Is that what we're saying?
Are you there, Ellie? She's gone. I think.
She's gone.
Yes, yeah. Her signal's gone again. It does go on here from time to time where she lives. I don't know why. It just, perhaps she's had a phone call or something. Who knows? Listen, we'll move on from Ange. Ange just fucked off. Thank God. Right? He's gone and we've moved on. Right? I love the conversation between the pair of you, but we have got more important things to worry about currently, as we've been talking about. So, I don't know if DK's back on the scene yet.
Yeah, hello?
He is. He's back. Dan.
I'm here. I'm here.
Yes. Go on, Dan.
Yeah, go for it.
Crack on, man.
I was just... I'm trying to... I can't even remember what I was going to say before. I
don't know, Dan.
No, I know you don't. I know. I wish you did, mate.
Yeah. We was talking about the forwards and all that, weren't we? And getting players in and all that sort of stuff. I think,
in a nutshell, I don't think Maddison has been named captain. I don't think he will. I'm not sure who's going to be a captain, to be honest with you. We'll have to wait and see. In terms of the forwards, we're never in a million years getting Osimhen. I know people were talking about it earlier. I know it's a pipe dream for people, but listen, Osimhen is never ever coming to Spurs. If he's going to leave anyone, he's going to go to a bigger club, because he was already touted for. Well, Chelsea wanted to buy him before he went to Galatasaray, and so did Man United. And I think Chelsea
Yeah.
even offered a deal for him, but he didn't want to do it. He did, and he even got offered more money to go to Saudi. I think it was like a couple $100,000 more than what he's already on, and he said no because he wanted to stay in Europe and play Champions League football. So the only team that was able to give him the ridiculous wages he wanted and to be able to play European football in Champions League was Galatasaray. So unless he completely changes his stance on money, then he ain't going anywhere. Like, let's be real.
Hmm.
So if he starts to change his mentality to actually has a desire to win stuff, then he'll go somewhere else. But yeah, I don't think it'll be Spurs. It'll be unbelievable if we were able to do something like that, but it's not ever going to happen, unfortunately. Um,
Mm.
the tell situation. Um, I listened to all of your stuff talking about Tell, and I think Tell is another one where you can see he's got ability, right? He's raw still. You can see that he's not the complete article. You can see he's not a composed finisher yet, but you can see he's got ability because, like, I think Maz did sum it up fairly well, where he's a moments player, right? But if you look at hit the data, he's not done too bad for a 19-year-old in a position for a winger in that position across Europe. So he's actually got some decent stats. And again, Tell is someone who, if he's not going to play first team, because I don't think he should be playing first team at a level like Spurs. If he's going to play first team football, he should go to like a Brighton or something like that. But I think that type of fast attacking sort of football would suit him. But in terms of Spurs, he has to be like the rotation or the second choice left winger if he's going to be anything at Spurs. Because if he's relied on as the number one winger, which I don't think that's what De Zerbi wants, um, then we've got issues because he's not yet there yet in terms of what he can offer, what his ability can offer right now. Um, and I just think that with someone like it's an interesting one with a lot of the wingers, right? Because sometimes you can get these wingers who just it depends on what age they are. There could be different ages, right? Like players like I don't know. I'm trying to think of a really young player who really excelled at a young age. Um, but essentially, like you get players developing at different times, right? And it all depends on how players. No one knows how players can develop. No one knows. You can have an idea on what they're showing, but at the end of the day, no one's ever going to be able to tell you how any player is going to develop because you just don't know. Because no, the player doesn't even know themselves, right? That's the truth of it. Just like I'll give you a prime example. I know it's different, but like players like Gareth Bale, right? When he was there, he didn't even ever see himself playing as a forward. Like never. He never saw himself playing as a forward. But he ended up transitioning into a forward and it ended up being even better for him. So like Joe Linton, for example,
Hmm.
he was a striker, awful striker, shit striker. Transitioned into a midfielder. And now he's probably one of the better midfielders in the Premier League. So I'm just saying that with players, you just don't know, and it's not. I don't think it's a fair analysis to say that he's a shit player because he's not a shit player. He's a pretty decent player. He's just not at the level we need to be a first team star, right? And that's where the issue is with Tell because he's not. There's too much reliance on him, and that's not his fault. That's the club's fault because if this was a proper football club, what they would do is they go and buy two or three additional wingers, and Tell would be like your third choice to be the option on the bench to bring in from time to time, or to bring in when you need 10 minutes. You've got 10 minutes to go, and you need someone to come on and try and impact the game because he's pretty decent at doing that when he comes off the bench, and he did it quite a few times last season, where he made a difference. So I think that's where the issue is. It's not with the actual player's ability. It's with because he's not at that level yet. Um, and he's the only option we have, the fixation on him is intensified. So yeah, that's what I'll say on Tell.
Yeah, fair play, Dan. Fair play. I think Phil put further up here. There you go. And then you said it just afterwards. Tell as a moments player should be an impact sub
Yeah,
at
yeah,
best. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, an impact sub is, I think, would be good for him. Maybe not good for him, but good for us, right? But look, if I do also believe that he will have some kind of role this season, and I've also believed that if he doesn't live up to the standards De Zerbi wants, I think next season he'll be one that we'll look to change, because it could be that he doesn't maybe get as many minutes as he wants, right? Who knows? We don't know yet. But if the season ends where he doesn't get as minutes as he wants, then he might decide that he wants to leave. And I don't think De Zerbi will ever have a problem with that, because I think De Zerbi would like to get better. But you have to also remember, for people who don't like Tell, unfortunately, Tell is someone that De Zerbi really likes, because he did try to sign him for Marseille in January on loan. So he obviously clearly sees something in Tell. I see something in Tell, but I think it's just people are just too harsh to judge him based on the fact that he's basically been one of the only wingers one of the only wingers we've actually had the option to use, because everyone else was injured. So he was the option, and that's where the issue lies.
Danny, I broadly agree with what you said, and I mean I don't see what you see in terms of his ability. I think
Fair
he's
enough.
a poor player, but there's no point splitting the atom over that. What I would say is though, we're not judging him based off like one, a handful of games. We're judging him based off his period under Ange and his period last year, right? And it's like saying, "Oh, we should keep faith with him because he's the best of a bad bunch," And I don't think that's the right. I think that type of thinking is one of the reasons why Spurs are what they are. Do you get what I mean? I'm not saying that you're the cause of that.
Yeah,
but
no.
Just saying that type of thinking is why we are where we are and why we get left with these poor footballers. It's like the Davies syndrome, isn't it? That's what it is. I've coined a new thing. It's called Ben Davies syndrome, right? You keep him around, right? Just because you're comfortable there, give him a chance. He might come good. He might do this. He might do that. He does a couple of good things here and there. Stats aren't too bad. But the reality is that he just isn't very good, And when you look at what we've had in the past, he's awful. So what do we want as a club? What do we want as a club? Do we want to?
The problem is.
Don't worry, we won't start on Ange again.
The problem is, right? The problem is with someone like a lot of our players, unfortunately, the problem with Tottenham is that over the last couple years, they've predominantly focused on youth. Now, when you bring in too much youth, you don't have the experience you need, which was so evident for the last couple of years at Spurs. And we had a team full of young boys rather than men, right? And that's where the problems lied. That's why we nearly got relegated. Now, the issue with also Spurs, especially with bringing in a lot of young players, is the amount of managers they transition through in that short period. We've had 5 or 6 managers in the last 3 years. It's crazy, the amount of managers we've had, and Tell's had nearly 4 managers, is it? Yeah. So when you look at a player who's only been here less than a year and a half, and he's had 4 managers in less than 2 years, that is insane. How can any young player get any stability, right? When you're changing managers faster than the brass in a brothel gets a customer, right? So it's insane. And the problem is, but one thing, Maz. The problem is, right, is that the young players, right, they need to come into what's the word? They need to come into a steady,
settled environment.
Yeah, that's it, Ellie. Spot on. Yeah, a settled squad full of professionals, right? And now, if you brought Tell into a squad full of top quality players, right? I bet you any money no one would actually look at Tell in the same way they look at him. They'll be like, hey, he's actually all right, right? He's not bad for a player because you've got quality all over the pitch. The problem is Tell looks like the best one currently in our attack because he's the only one, because we haven't got anyone else. That's the problem, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, we obviously will need better, right? But again, we're not going to sign. We need ideally we need number 10, one right winger, one left winger, and one striker, right? Or forwards that play in all those positions. So you need 4 really. So that's without getting rid of Tell. If you get rid of Tell, you're going to have to try and get another winger in. Now we're struggling to get 1 forward, let alone bring in 4, right? So so can you see the point why I'm saying that
I see
Tell
your
is not.
point.
Yeah.
But let me try and give reframe it, because I think you're giving an analysis based on reshuffling the deck chairs on the Titanic, right? Because Spurs have had an awful youth policy, I would say. I wouldn't say it's awful in the sense of we've done the right thing. We've got an academy. We've got a good youth director who's developing these young players, and you know, that's all well and good. The problem we've done is one, we've brought in youth players that we shouldn't have brought in, because that's stifled the development of the other youth players that have come in. And then what we've done is those youth players that we've brought in, we've shoved them into the first team, hoping that they're going to give us something magical.
Yeah.
And they're not. Right now, what we're doing now is we're looking at that, and what we're being is like compassionate, saying no, we need to develop them. If you look at his stats, and you laid out the arguments for, but I've got my problem with that is no. What we should have done is we should have a plan in place, right, that we can execute year on year on year, right, that works, and we need to buy in the right players at the right time, i.e., like we're doing now, experienced Premier League players and or players from other top divisions around Europe that can come into the first team and strengthen, right? Then you give players like Tell an opportunity to be part of Tottenham Hotspur and prove himself over a couple of seasons as a, like you said, a third or fourth choice player. And maybe he develops and maybe he breaks in. Yeah. But what we're doing now is we're trying to justify him being in the starting 11 and a fixture for next season. And that's wrong for me, because
I'm not justifying him being in the 11.
No, I know you're not. I'm just speaking holistically, right?
I actually agree with what you're saying, by the way, man.
Yeah, right. So, and by doing that, what we're then doing is we're then sacrificing our standards. We're saying, no, let's lower our standards because we want to be compassionate to these players. And I'm saying, no, don't lower your standards. Demand better from the hierarchy in the club. Let's get a proper transfer policy and youth process and mechanism in place, and let's start acting like what other big clubs do, right? And let's give the opportunities to our youngsters that are genuinely got ability. Let's not buy in 30 to 40 or 50 million pound 19-year-olds that haven't proven anything. Let's give an opportunity to your Barnetts and Donnellys and Moores and all of that sort of stuff, right? So I object to Tell being in the squad because he's a symptom of the failed model of Tottenham Hotspur and the way we think as fans.
I understand.
Therefore, I don't want him there. That's why I don't want him there.
I get you on that. I mean, for me personally, I like Tell, and obviously we'll agree to disagree on that. But
what do you like about him, Danny?
I like his attitude, and I like his ability to. He can beat a man, right? He just there's a lot of times where he doesn't have the. It's not that he doesn't have the confidence, because he does have confidence in himself. I think it's just he needs to learn more to just keep going rather than trust himself more to beat the player more, because more often than not he can beat his man, right? And I saw it at the back in the last season, especially when he was playing on the right. When he went onto the right wing, I think towards like the last couple of games or something like that, he actually did alright, and it was because he was able to be like an old school winger where he was going down the byline and crossing the ball in. albeit some of his crosses weren't the greatest, but usually his crossing is quite decent. I just like his like never giving attitude. Like he just keeps going and going and going and going, right? But he also does have ability. Like he can dribble. He can dribble. He's got good dribbling ability, and he has got a sort of a special shot in him every so often, right? If you watch him for the under 21 France team, he scores some absolute crackers. Like he scores some really good goals, and I think he's only what 19 to just turn 20 or something.
No, he's
So
21 now.
is he 21 now? Is
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
so? He's 21 now, right? And I just think he's just got a lot of potential, but I've just got a funny feeling with Tell that he will do better this season. He will actually get a few more goals and a few more assists, right? But I've got a feeling that um he'll leave at the end of this season because I think he'll probably want to get more first team football. But if he
Yeah.
does if he can hit more numbers than I think he can hit, then I think a lot of Spurs fans will really like what he could do this season. And I think that the thing is, Harry Kane came into it at 2021, I think it was, 22. Son only started really being the player that he wasn't, I think, until he was 23, 24, something like that. So it takes some players. It's just different. Like you just don't know, right? All of a sudden, it could be 1 year and he turns into a really top winger. You just don't know. But I think there's something about Tell I do like about him. That's just me.
Yeah.
And
He should
what
be
I would
winning.
say to back your opinion up is, as much as I dislike him as a player, and I've been very critical of him, if Roberto De Zerbi sees something in him and he wants to keep him around because he feels
think
that
he
he can
does.
develop it into
Yeah.
something, then I'm okay with that. What
Yeah.
I'm not okay with, though, is us not buying players because of him. Do you see what I
No,
mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Of
And I
course.
personally, I agree with that. And I don't think, Maz, that we're I don't believe we're gonna not buy players because he's there. And if that was to happen, then I'd be very against what they're doing, right? And against what the manager's deciding, because I don't believe personally for 1 second that De Zerbi thinks Tell is ready to be our left winger. Not a chance in hell. I think he also sees him someone that he could develop, but he needs a better left winger in front of him. Whether that's Gakpo, and I think, look, for argument's sake, I also think Savio is a better left winger than him, like by a lot. If you just look at
Yeah.
Savio's ability, he's basically he's like a better version of Tell, and I think that if he can show his qualities in a De Zerbi system, I think we're gonna have a really good winger if we get him. But
Tell reminds me of, he's like a poor man's Madueke. Really, I don't rate him, Danny. I
I
don't
don't know
rate.
if Madueke
I'm
is as
with
good as him.
Maz. No, I just think he's on that level. You know, he can dribble the boy. He can, but that last bit or the decision making is
Yeah, I
not
get
all.
you.
Yeah, the he. Look, if Roberto De Zerbi wants to keep him around to develop him, fair dues, right? But for me, I just don't think he's got all the attributes to make a top winger. Because you have to have a good cross on you. He's okay, right? He's crossing. It's not nothing to write home about. He'll do the occasional good cross, like he'll find his man, but the majority of his crosses don't find its target. And in front of goal, he's very goal shy, right? And yes, he scored a couple of worldy goals, but most players do that, yeah. But I just don't think he's good enough. And I'm with Maz. We've got to raise our standards. We have to have someone better than him with somebody even better than the understudy above him, and then that's what you call standards, and we should all be wanting that, right? And I know,
I don't
Danny,
think
it's not your, it's
I
because
don't
you
think it's not.
like him.
No,
You
go on,
like
Eddie.
him as a player, don't you? You like him as a player. You see
I think he's
something
a good young
that
player.
can be
Yeah,
developed. That can be developed.
yeah,
I get
definitely,
that.
definitely.
I do get that. But for me personally, I don't think he's of the standard to get us to that level that we want to get to.
And that's fair
Even
enough. Like, and
Sorry, go on.
I think we'll see it this season, right? But again, it goes down to I also want better But I'm also being realistic to what we can achieve this season, because I don't see us going to buy 2 left wingers, a striker, and a right winger, and a number 10 in the window. Like, I don't think that's going to happen.
Mm. I
Do you,
know,
do
we're
you
top the Hotspur, aren't we?
Yeah.
Do you think the club at some point, right, over the last couple of years, has looked at like when they brought in, wanted to bring in youth? So you could say Gareth Bale, Dele Alli to a degree. I know his career's tailed off now, but Dele Alli, a Harry Kane, for example, was really young when he came into the team. Do you think they've looked at those three players as a success of youth and gone, that's what we need to be going down that route again, hoping that there'll be another one of those coming through? Do you think there's any element in that they've thought about it? And that's why we've
They,
gone down the youth route the last few years.
Yeah, definitely.
yeah,
That's always been Daniel Levy's thing, hasn't it?
we
Yeah,
act as a business, don't we? Everybody who says we are a business, like Danny, I love Danny. He points it out. We act like a business, not a football club, right? So now we've made a statement with Brian Tonali, who's a fantastic player. We brought in a lot of very good players, but we just have to go push on. We can't just do that and then do not fix the other areas that we're weak in. Yeah,
yeah, but
because it's defeating the object.
we can't really. The thing for me is the thing in the back of my head is now is that obviously Kulusevski's back on the grass. Do you know what I mean? Players like Kulusevski, Kudus, maybe a Madison. That I'm hoping they're not relying on those players being ready to come back in straight away. Do you know what I mean? Because we all know that that's going to be. I'm hoping that's not in their thinking anymore because we've done that last few years. Look at January. The excuse came out and they said, "Oh, of our injured players are coming back soon." Where were they? And I'm hoping they're not still thinking of that ilk. Do you know what I mean? And that's what's delaying them in doing other business. I really do. That's
Yeah,
my main concern. Is are they still thinking like that? Because
that's
let's
the way
face
they
it,
are.
Lang is still there.
They've done that
Surely,
for 26 years. They've been
Lang is
thinking of
still
that.
there, so
It's
he was
not
the one that
just
come up
last
with it.
season. They've been
Yeah,
doing it for 26 years, letting us
yeah,
all down.
surely they can't have. Listen, I know we were talking about this, saying about the money that had been spent. They've already recovered something like 120. I think it's 120 or odd million of what they've laid out already for the players that they've brought in.
Yeah,
Right? We're supposed to have this £400 million cap or whatever it is, that something like that we can spend and not get in any trouble. That's without recovering money, right? We've
yeah,
got an inflated squad. I think someone put in the chat earlier there are 41 players vying for 25 spots as it stands at the moment in the Premier League. And this is before we're talking about getting forwards in. You know, how many players have we got to sell this window to make it viable? So again, I had another comment. There is 20 non-homegrown in the squad. 20.
yeah. Is it 7 or 8 homegrown we need?
Yeah, you got to have 8 homegrown, I think, Ellie. I think it's 8. So, but what I'm saying is, we're talking about. You know, I talk a lot about. You know, I understand this transfer window because we've been so bad since 2019, 18, whenever you want to say, 17 maybe, best part of 10 years. That unless you're going to go and go right, this is the model now. We have changed. We're going to go and get the best of the best everywhere on the pitch and go and spend God knows how much. Get a load of money back from the players that you've got that you don't need anymore. Yeah, but we haven't done that. You know, a lot of people are saying, well, our forward line was so bad. Why didn't we do it the other way? Why didn't we go and get the forwards and then sort out the defence and the midfield? But we've done it the way we've done it. We've sorted the defence, we've sorted the midfield as such. Yeah, but we've got no wingers and we've got no forwards. Again, I'll come back to the point as well that people keep saying, oh, get a left winger, get a striker or a false nine, whatever it may be, we'll be all right. Right? We've got Tell at the moment as your left winger. We've got 2 forwards that are incapable. Right? There's 3. You've got Kudos hasn't set a foot on grass. 4, right? Who plays? Conor Gallagher are going to play right wing when Kudos ain't available. Right, there's 4, and we've also got 0 number 10s available because they're injured. That's 5. Right, so just in the forward line, I've mentioned 5 players there for me that if we can, we should be going and getting this window. I know it's not going to happen, right? But that's just it's not even covering as such as positions as such. That's what you need, just for the bare minimum.
Well, here's the question: What happened to Yang?
He's played in a couple of the games when they were playing half and halves. I think at the beginning, someone might put me straight here. And
I missed a couple of the games because I was away.
And he had a right good chance in one of the games, and I believe everyone couldn't believe he missed. And I don't think we've seen him since. I might be wrong.
He come on the other day. He come on against.
Oh right,
Yeah,
okay.
Sorry, go on, Steve.
Yeah, he came on against Chelsea, and the thing you're referring to about Yang missing his chance, that was against Sydney in the second half. I know that, but
he also missed another one, didn't he?
Yeah,
he also missed another one. He missed 2.
Well, saying about our squad and stuff being 41, yeah, right? I think you can have 10 players on loan at any one time in different clubs. So you drop that to 31 straight away, right? So that would be mainly the kids, right?
Right.
Let's say it's mainly the kids. And I think you can have a squad of 26 now. Is it? Or is it more than that? I know they were going to change it or something.
They might be, Steve, but 25,
So you have
26,
to shift another 5 players out, right? You shift another 5 players out at least.
Can I just say that Solomon?
Yeah.
And this is not me wanting to give people more of a chance than they deserve, but I actually don't think we've ever given Solomon a chance, because the brief period we actually saw Solomon, he was one of our best attacking players for the couple of games that we saw him. And from what I've seen so far, I think he's showing a lot more than what Telly's showing in those positions. So if we don't buy anyone else, then I'll be very disappointed if we just ship him out again.
Oh, you're a bit echoey there, Steve.
Sorry, is that better?
No.
No, you've been a bit in and out since you've been on, to be honest. But a lot of the time it clears, and then you can hear you properly. But yeah, go on, mate, carry on.
Is it echoey now?
Yeah, I can hear you, Steve. Go on.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think I had West Ham are in for Solomon. They're looking at Solomon apparently. So I think he might be the one out. He might be the next one out the door.
Oh well, listen. The sheriff's in the house. Morning, sheriff.
Big up, mate.
Easy day today, sheriff.
It got cancelled, mate.
Cancelled?
Yes. There was something wrong with the contractors come in. And there was something wrong with the tickets they had.
All right.
To operate the machinery and
yeah.
So it was abandoned. I think abandoned is the right word.
We'll take it, though. Yeah, happy about that. Nice.
I was there about 2.5 hours, mate. I had 2 coffees.
There you go.
And wheeled my way home. And
yes.
I thought I was checking all the way home to see if you were still alive, and I've seen keep going.
Sheriff, what have you got to tell us about the forward line? I say we need 5 still. I know there's not 5 coming in.
I just want to say one thing, Cookie.
Go on.
The forward line issue is definitely Sheriff's fault. I don't know if you agree with me, Cookie.
I do agree with you.
Yeah.
I do agree with you, DK.
Yeah,
and he will explain now why he's going to change it, as it was his fault. Won't you, Sheriff? Who do you want up front, Sheriff?
Well, why is it
my choice?
Why is it my fault?
DK said it's your fault, mate.
It's your fault, Sheriff.
And so it is.
Yeah,
And so
What,
if
what's
Danny
your
says
opinion
it
about
is, it
forward
is.
line?
Steve.
Well,
Come on, Sheriff. Who do you want up front? Serious. If you had 3 players, let's say, whether it be a left winger, a striker, a 10, a right winger, whatever, someone up front. Who would you like?
you
There's
put me on the spot already, and I'm going to just come on.
all right. Well, we
Um,
go to someone else first if you want to think
I
about
don't
it.
mind. Bloody hell. Marmouche. I'd get him in. We have been linked with him.
What, a Savio Marmouche double deal type of thing? Is that what you're
Yeah.
thinking, Sheriff?
Well, either one of them. I'd sooner Marmouche, personally. At the two of them, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the left wing.
Left
Well, to
wing
be honest,
stroke
with so
forward.
bloody many, Matt, you could rattle off like 10 names. Now,
Yeah,
this
thank
is
you.
only a dream, and I know he's not coming, but you know the striker I want.
Well,
And
yeah.
we know he's not coming back. Not
Yeah.
yet. Not yet. He might do one day, but not yet.
Listen, you'll get hate in the chat, Sheriff. Let it go. It'll be, Sheriff. Let it go.
Yeah.
It's
But bloody hell. Well, to be honest, mate, striker, I'd have me and you up front, mate.
Well, yeah. Obviously, Sheriff.
know what
I've
I
been
mean?
waiting for you to. A DK on one wing, Maz on the other, Steve coming up for corners.
Yeah.
Have some of that.
And me and you up top.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, well,
Keep them
bloody-
cheerful.
Well, let's face it, me and you would be better than the two we got.
Lads,
You
look,
know,
we have to talk about this, people. Look, you know what I think? I think they're both crap, right? Honestly, I do. I watched Solanke last season, and I know I get when players are coming back and they're not fully fit or whatever, right? But I'm watching this geezer running after a ball. A defender, he's in front of the defender. The defender's giving 2 or 3 yards. They're chasing after a ball that's 15 yards in front of him and he can't get there first.
Yeah.
These are professional footballers, man. They
As
look
I
like
said,
they're running round in mud.
As I said, mate, sometimes you ain't got to be the best footballer, but your best ability is availability.
Yeah.
And when you got the 2 donkeys that we got that are never fit at the same time, it seems one gets injured and the other one's all right. And then the other one will come back and the other one gets injured. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Big
go
up to you.
Yeah.
Solanke's got to be one of our worst ever signings.
We'll put it this way, right? I believe in my 50 odd years supporting this team, I cannot remember a worse front line, shall we say, not just strikers. I cannot remember it because we've always had one classy one. The rest might have been a bit, but you know, there's always been Gareth Bell and Aaron Lennon, a Waddle, you know, on the wings. I've just said 3, but there's lots more than that. You know, we've always had one classy one up top, or someone with a bit of nous. Our front line at the moment is absolutely useless. It's by far the worst I've ever known. By far. I mean, can anybody name me a worse front line? That includes the wingers and the strikers. You'll be hard pressed.
I mean, you can go back to the
Soldado was awful. Soldado was awful. Just saying.
I don't think that was his fault, though. I don't think that was his fault.
Soldado played in a 2 in Spain, and we
Yes.
brought him in as the sole striker.
And then played him as a sole striker. Fucking stupid. Absolutely ridiculous waste of money of a striker. Yeah, it couldn't have come to a worse team that played a totally different way than what he was used to doing in Spain. Madness.
I remember when we signed him, I watched his clips on YouTube. Jesus, I thought, bloody hell, Mark.
Yeah, what a player. Yeah,
I thought, Jesus Christ, what have we got here? And he turned up and he was awful. But that's because we never played to his strengths. He was
Yeah,
always
I
in the
agree
team.
with that.
Especially in the Premier League, right? He wasn't the tallest striker,
No.
and then you play and you just don't. And he always played like you said with another striker,
Yeah.
a bigger striker usually. Yeah, that was so bad from our director of football, whoever that
Yeah.
was at
But
the time.
mind you, though, that brought on the emergence of Kane. So every cloud and that, you know what I mean. So
True.
Kane started coming in. So I mean, you could look at it on the flip side. It brought the emergence of Kane through, and look what he done. So
True.
yeah.
Ulrika, in reply to this, I would say, right, I wouldn't say anyone's being weird. What I would say is you're comparing Tell to the shittest two players that have ever been up front for
Yeah.
Tottenham. That's what the standards are that you're comparing to. Do you know what I mean? So when you say we're being weird, I don't think anyone's being weird. I think everyone's just pointing out. Danny's pointed out what he expects from Tell next season when he plays. Yeah, personally, for me, he's not for me. I think if you've got it, you've got it. There's different ways that managers can bring things out in players, different styles of football, asking them to do different things. Let him have the chance next year. If RDZ decides that he's going to play him, I don't know, 20 of the games next
Like,
season as a winger.
I'd be disappointed if he was our starting left winger this
Yes, I
season,
agree. I do
personally.
agree with
Yeah.
that. I do
And
agree
me.
with that. He'll play a few games though, I've no doubt. And let's see if the coaching
What
has
you want, yeah,
improved anything
yeah,
that he
what
does.
you want to see from Tell as a young player like him is, and because he's not that like Yamal level type, right? It's very rare that you see real sort of 19, 20, 21 year olds at like an extremely high level, right? It's not often. But for someone like him, he has to show what he can do when he's brought on or when he's given the opportunity, right? That's what he has to do. He has to show that he can contribute in some way or another, whether that's an assist, a goal, whatever it is, right? Whether that's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes off the bench, when you're 1-1 and you need something else, something a bit different in the game, that's where you want him to make the difference, right? And he's got to keep consistently doing that, and then he'll get more and more chances if he keeps playing. And I have no doubt that De Zerbi will give him the chance if he deserves it. But if he doesn't deserve it, then he's not going to give him the chance.
What I expect from a youngster is improvement.
Yeah, but he has been
Improvements.
improving though. He has been slowly improving, not like an extremely high rate, but he's like little bit by little bit he is improving. You can see it in his game since he started at Spurs and how it is now.
I just want to touch on what
Yeah.
Danny said about bringing him on with 10, 15 minutes to go of the game. Look at the Man United game last season at home, right? We're 1-0 down. He comes on, scores the equaliser, and then is involved in
Yeah,
the goal
yeah,
to make it 2-1.
yeah,
So that's the kind of impact.
exactly
I
that.
mean, I think he was only on the field, but I think he came on like the 81st minute or something. I
Yeah.
think it was really late in the day, and he made a big impact. So,
Well, it
yeah,
was our
I
best
agree.
football of the match that game. It was that last 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah. So, yeah, I agree with Danny on that aspect. Just like if you're going to bring him on as an impact, because he'll
He,
be
he,
hungry
he
for it.
yeah, he can contribute. Like if he can play like that, like as an impact player, because I've always said that with him. Um, that's the way he's got. That's the way he's going to have to develop at a club, a big club, right? He's not going to be the starting left winger, and he shouldn't have been the starting left winger last season. That's a disgrace that the club neglected the squad like they have done for years. So that's not really his fault. He can only do what he can only play because that's the only choice the manager has, right? So yeah, I think Tell is. We'll have to see what happens. But I
Danny,
expect another two or three attackers to come in.
Danny, do you think that this is Tell's like make or break season then? Because by the end of next season, he would have been here 2.5 years. Do you think this is the season he has to prove himself, or
Yeah, yeah, I
they
think
might
so.
just shift him like next year after
I
the
think
summer?
so. I think he has to contribute. He needs to get in total in all competitions, whether that's FA Cups, whatever it is. He needs to get about 15 GA this season. I think. right? Whether that's 10 goals, 5 assists, 10 assists, 5 goals, but he has to do at least 15 across all competitions. If he can do that, then he's worth his worth in weight, right? But if he underperforms, and say he goes the whole season and he gets like another 4 or 5 goals in the whole season across all competitions and like 2 assists, then yeah, you're gonna look like the. And I think De Zerbi will say that as well. I think De Zerbi will get rid of him. But you're right. This is his make or break season for me.
Yeah, yeah. And like you say, Daddy, to be fair, we should be buying someone over the top of him, and he should be coming on as sub and doing that sort of thing, shouldn't he? And learning his trade as such, Dan.
Yeah.
You know, rather than being like Bergvall and Gray were, and he was to a certain extent just thrown in and told to get on with it. And you know, I just don't think that's the right way about it. I still say, and Ellie's back on now. I still say the day they got rid of the football combination, Ellie, yeah, it stopped young players coming through because they were playing against men in reserve games that, you know, players that were very experienced coming back from injuries and stuff like that. And I think that when the football combination went, it was it all changed for youngsters as such, you know, coming through. But that's just where I am. I am with it.
I agree. Yeah, I've put my Australia hat on for Ange Postecoglou.
Oh my God. I'd have burnt that ages ago.
Let's not go there again.
I'll always like him because he won us a trophy. He wasn't the best manager, but I'll always have a soft spot for Ange Postecoglou.
There you go.
And he's got a good name, isn't he? Ange Postecoglou.
Yeah, absolutely. He certainly has.
I don't want to harp on about Ange, but I agree with you about the combination playing with men, because they did that with our under-21s for a little while. We were playing Peterborough, and I think we played Colchester, and I think we played a few other, and it's good experience for them to play against real men. Because
don't the under-21s get chucked into one of these Johnson Pate Trophy type things?
Yeah, it was like we played Peterborough, I know that, and they lost to Peterborough. I think it was 2-1 or something similar. And we played a number of games against real men.
Yeah.
And it makes them realise what the big step is and what is required.
Yeah. It's one of these, like, I don't even know what it's called these days, but it was like the Johnston Paint Trophy or something.
Mm-hmm.
All the Premier League teams chuck their under-21s on it.
Yeah, it's better. It's better. They play against proper men. Yeah. Because like even the under-21s, they're like, some of them are 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20 and 21. But still, they're playing against other players of that age who are not quite men yet. Yeah. And some players can stand out. You know, the elite of the elite will make it through, right? Because they've just got it. But the other players that have not got it yet, and then they play against men, they learn their trade, right? And they get stronger physically as well, because the physical demands of the game now are much heightened from when the combination was on even, right? Because the physicality of the game has moved on, hasn't it? And the training has moved on. And it's a possession-based football now, whereas in the past, you had your flair players and you still got flair players, but they're few and far between, I find. You know, like the standouts in the Premiership for me is De Bruyne. That's what I call a brilliant player, flair player he's fantastic, isn't he? Now he's gone. There's not anybody who really, really stands out for me as a flair player, you know, who can take the game with a scruff of the neck and like dominate it. Dembele was one. He was another one, flipping brilliant. But there's not many nowadays. It's all like pass, isn't it? It's a bit boring for me. I don't enjoy watching football now. I don't know about you lads.
Bring back Nick Barmby, man. Bring back Nick Barmby. He was a good player, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a good player. When he was with Klinsmann, he learnt so much, but
Yeah.
he had dodgy legs, didn't he, old Barmby?
Yeah.
He had
What
something
about
wrong with
Andy
his.
Turner? Do you know about Andy Turner as well? Andy
Yeah,
Turner, do you remember him?
yeah.
Yeah.
I won't forget him, but he's not a star player as such.
He scored last minute goal against Everton. Right?
You know what? Also, I'd like to bring up, right, about Paulinho, right, because it's a big subject, right? Paulinho, right, for me, was a no-brainer to sign. And I've seen other people say, no, he won't fit De Zerbi's play, right? He's not that type of player. Right, so Keith Birkinshaw, right, he had flair players and he had Stevie Perryman and then he had Graham Roberts who'd win the ball and give it to your flair player. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with him winning the ball for us and giving it to a Tonali or a Fernandez? And then somebody would say to me, oh, well, Fernandez can do what Paulinho can do. No, he can't. He can't do everything Paulinho can do, right? Not at this stage of his career. He gets about the pitch, agree with that, right? And he can tackle and blah, blah, but he's not got the experience of Paulinho. What's wrong with having him as a squad player? That's what I don't get. Why the majority of the people were with me, right? But there's quite a lot as well that were against me about signing Paulinho. For me, it was a no-brainer. That's all I'm
I think
saying.
with Paulinho, it was more of a personal issue. Like he was going through some issues at the time.
I know with
And
his divorce, isn't it?
I think he wanted to be closer to his kids. So I think it was kind of like, I think they probably had discussions about it. And he
Yeah,
probably said, look, I need to be closer to my kids. So I'm not going to be obviously sat in England for the next year. Do you know what I mean? Because it was
yeah.
really
But
difficult for him to see his kids and stuff. So I
he
think it was
also
just a
said he'd
personal,
love to play for us again.
yeah,
I've read
I
many
think it was a personal,
reports that he was a
personal issue more than anything. So because he hasn't got a
yeah,
club
because
yet, has he? Has he got a club yet?
I'm not sure, but I was disappointed that we didn't sign him because he was
Yeah.
fabulous last season. Fabulous. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be a Premiership team because he scored so many vital goals and he came on and he's so professional. And to
Yeah.
have someone like that in the dressing room is invaluable. It really is, even if he was on the bench, right? And I hear people say, "Well, he wouldn't settle for the bench." Well, he did. Under three managers, he settled for the bench, and then
Well,
he was played, but he settled for the bench a lot.
but it's funny how Bentancur and Palini were like our mainstay at the beginning of the season. We was doing okay, and as soon as those two went out, we started to drop. And then someone
Yeah,
went, "Oh, actually, I think we need to play them two again," and they did. And then somehow we the upturn improved again. So yeah, I agree with you about that. But what do you think
yeah.
about Bentancur though?
I,
Do you think Bentancur's going to
don't
stay?
I don't want to hear bad mouthing against Saint Frank, especially when Dan's here.
Ooh.
Same.
Yeah, but the thing for me about Frank is right. He came in and basically said we're going to lose games. When
Did
does
you?
Yeah.
De Zerbi said that? No. I think the only
See,
De Zerbi thing De Zerbi has said was to these players, if we stay up and you want to go, that's fine. But if we go down, you stay under the water with me. Basically, that was his
Listen,
thing.
I think Maz was correct earlier on when he said De Zerbi's very clever about what he's saying. He
Yeah,
knows that he needs
100%.
forwards. Yeah, and the
yeah,
way that he's put it across very calmly, almost like what we say a lot. He's just give them that bit of an elbow. Do you know what I mean? There's 3 weeks to go, people, and we need forwards. But said it in a very polite way, if you want to put it like that.
yeah.
I think
Not,
he's a very clever bloke.
He
He's not
is.
stupid at
yeah.
all.
He's an intelligent man,
No, put it
right?
this way, mate. Put it this way, Mark. If you met Enoch, would you give him a little elbow or a
No, get a
swift kick in
proper
the
swift
knuckles?
kick in the goo gangs, mate. That would be
Yes.
that.
I'd
Yes.
smack him. I wouldn't shake their hand. I'd smack him.
That's it.
I'd get my
Yeah.
boxing gloves on.
That's the next event
Right in
at
the
the Tottenham Hotspur
goalies.
Stadium. Queen Ellie boxing against Enoch, against Viv.
Yeah,
Queen Ellie
I'll
and Viv in
bloody
the
win.
ring.
I can use my mouth though. My mouth is bigger than my fist.
Happy
I
days.
saw someone in the comments said about me that he didn't say it about me, he said it about all women, that we don't stop ranting, and Drula blocked him. Well, she blocked. Well done, Drula.
Deleted the comment. I saw
Yeah,
that.
she deleted it. Yeah, she
Deleted the
deleted
comment.
it. I saw it though. Yeah, so whoever that was, come my way, and I'll cook you a nice Greek meal, and we'll be sweet.
By the way, Sheriff and Cookie, yeah, heads up about the WhatsApp group, mate, because I went to message and it went, "You've been removed." I was like, "What?"
Well, you'll have to talk to Sheriff
I
about
was
I'll
that.
blame
like, "What
Sheriff
have
on
I
that,
done?"
as
I was,
usual. Through Sheriff's
Yeah,
fault.
you're a troublemaker, Steve. Stop starting trouble.
I barely messaged in there, guys. I was
Stick
literally
to
hardly
your
ever on there.
decks.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
Oh, but we have a laugh on here, don't we?
Well, we try to a
Yeah,
little
we
bit
do.
anyway, a little bit. Bash is in the house.
Hello.
Big up, Bash. How are you, mate?
Yeah, all
Bish
good.
bash
All
bosh.
good.
Is all good. Anything in particular you wanted to talk about, Bash, and then everyone
No,
can get
I've
stuck
just
in.
I've been watching the show for a couple of weeks now. Big Tottenham fan, so just wanted to say hello
Come
and
on,
join in with
Spurs.
the conversation.
Big up.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Big
Welcome.
up, Bash. Yeah, you are welcome. Bash, what's your thoughts on the forward line at Spurs? Just to get an idea.
To be honest, at the moment, I think it's pretty diabolical at the moment. I'm not a big fan of Solomon at the moment. I don't mind him, but I think he's more of a championship player, if I'm honest. The left is not as diabolical. Obviously, when Kudos comes back, on the right, it'll be a lot better. But I think the right needs sorting, and also the left, in my opinion, big time. I think Tell is a good option off the bench, but to start for Tottenham, I don't think it's I don't think it's feasible. And when it comes to the number nines, I think both of them just need to go. I think they're lower table strikers.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Is
That's
this
my
the
opinion
worst?
on the front
Is
line.
this the worst forward line you've ever seen in your lifetime?
Probably, yeah. I remember the Soldado days a little bit. I was a bit younger then. I'm only 32 now, but that was pretty
Spring
dire, but
chicken.
not as bad.
Yeah, but Soldado was played out of position.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was.
He was a two up front merchant, wasn't
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, we're in for quite a few players. So
Tell us,
fingers crossed
Bash.
we get
Tell
something
us,
over the line.
because I don't know if you know or not. Me and Mark are not very technical when it comes to having separate screens and shit up like that, mate.
Yeah.
So if you've got news, mate, of rumours, tell us. Tell
Well, I
everyone.
watch a lot of the videos. I watch Sean's videos a lot. If I had to pick a couple of players who I think who are coming in, I would think Gakpo would probably come over the line, to be honest. I think it suits both parties. I don't think Liverpool... I think he's been the best at Liverpool for a while, and I think maybe some of the Dutch players have had some influence over Gakpo, to be honest. So Van Hecker, Van der Ven... maybe they've had a conversation with him. Well, it could just be Xavi, yeah. I think Gakpo could work off the left, and he also plays a 9. So I think Gakpo would be a good... He's got Premier League experience, so I think Gakpo would be a good purchase, to be honest, just to cover over some of the cracks.
Yeah.
I think a forward line of Gakpo as a 9, Kudos on the right, and Savino on the left sounds pretty tasty, to be honest.
Yeah. Much better than what we got.
Exactly.
And
I'm hoping Madders is back for the start of the season, because I'm a huge fan of Madders, but I just think he's made of glass, if I'm honest.
Yeah, we were
the last
discussing
couple of
this
years.
last night.
Yeah.
In fact, the whole of our front line is made of glass.
It's like when I was watching the England games, I'm just amazed he's never got to that potential where he can actually start for England, because I think he's one of the best creative number 10s in what we've had in the last 5 to 6 years. But he's just made of glass now. He's getting a bit older. He's 29, going to be 30, I think, in November. I think so. Yeah.
Fair play. Any other rumours, Bash? While you're there?
Rumours, I think the midfield is pretty done. I don't think you'll see any more midfielders come in. I think the back line is pretty set in stone. For the goalkeepers, I keep saying for the last couple of games, I'm thinking, is Dubravka going to be the number 1, or is it Kingsley? I generally have no idea who they go for when it comes to the Brentford game. I think Robertson will start left back, to be honest. I think he will start over Udogie. I don't think Udogie's played many minutes. Again, another player that's made of glass.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think what they're looking at the moment, the big time, is they need forward line players really bad.
Yeah,
I don't know if Solomon's going to stick around. I think he'll get sold when he comes back when they fly back to London, maybe in the next couple of weeks, or he'll go out on loan. Or I could be completely wrong, and he might start him at the start of the season, which I think is going to be very odd. But each to their own.
Do you think he's going for a Robertson Gakpo left wing combination like they did? Did they play together at Liverpool? They did, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Before?
I think he's going for Robertson because he's got a lot of Premier League experience and he's a good solid option. And I think I do like a Dogie going forward. He's just made of glass. He plays one game and he's out for a month. He plays a couple of games, he's out for a month. So I think he's another player who maybe could be sidelined. I could be completely wrong. He could start him, but we don't know. I know a lot of my mates keep saying Van der Ven's going to play left back, and I really don't want to play left back. He's a centre back.
No. Yeah, he's a centre back.
Yeah, I think you might see that in game as such when he pushes a Robertson on or a Porro on, and you'll see him sort of maybe shift over and see the DM sit in front of him or whatever. But only in like the transition of the game as such. I don't think you'd set up like that as. It's not for me. Van der Ven's a centre half, and that's it.
Yeah, 100%. He's a great centre half. Yeah,
I know he does it for Holland and that, but I just prefer him at centre half. That's just me.
The centre back partnership, I don't know how it's going to go. If it's going to go Van Hecke, Van der Ven, or if it's going to go Senesi in there, I'm not really sure. There's great options in centre back now.
Do you think he's going to go for a back three and then push the wingers, the fullbacks forward a bit more?
I honestly couldn't tell you. Generally couldn't tell you if it's going to be a 4, it's going to be a 5. We just have to wait and see, right?
Yeah, I know. It's interesting though.
It's interesting, and it's I think from last season we were pretty in the mud, if I'm honest, and I think the pre-season, some of the signs we've had a little bit of optimism, but I still feel like they need that. They need those good couple of strikers, couple of wingers, or just at least 2 players before we play Brentford in a couple of weeks. And I think if they get some quality signings for the forward line, I think it's probably an 8 or 9 window because they've sorted the back line, they've sorted the midfield. I'm a huge fan of Tonali. I think he'll make a huge difference in our midfield this year.
Yeah, so, magic.
Yeah,
that's why I'm calling Eddie Tonali. I've taken his name. I'm not taking it. It would have been Paulinho, but Tonali, Do you know what you said about Udogie, right? What I find with Udogie, he's really good at going forward, right? He's a speed merchant. He can get there, but it's just that last bit lets him down. And sometimes he'll make a gaff in defence. Not sometimes, a lot of the time he will make a gaff in. But I thought last season defensively was a little bit more sound. But going forward, he's still got that weakness of that last ball. Yeah, if he could just get that right, because I saw Thomas Frank training him to get that last bit right, and then he was doing really well in training, but he doesn't do it in the game, which I find odd, because I was watching the training sessions, right, and he done so well, finding his man as well, and they put him under pressure as well. Like it wasn't just him running down the wing and then nobody's trying to stop him. Right, so I just think he needs to shape up, or we've got to ship him out because he's not.
The massive change I'm looking for. Massive change I'm looking for this season is more home wins because we've had 5 over the last 2 seasons in the Premier League. We need more home wins. I can't take another Tottenham Hotspur Stadium show for another season. You know what I mean? It's just awful. So we need to get that. That's a big thing as well. We need to change the mentality at home massively because I think that's the problem as well.
I agree with that. Mark, can you set up a redirect for Mia, or is it already done?
No.
Come on, Mia.
I will do it now, mate. You just keep gabbing for 5 minutes. 2 minutes.
We're going to wrap up now.
Trouble.
We're going to wrap up because I've had the eye off of the missus.
Have you had the elbow, mate?
Oh, okay.
I've had the. Could you wrap up, Mark, please? 2 hours ago, whatever. You know how it is.
Yeah,
I can't moan at her because I'm on every day. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
She never complains, so fair play to her. We have got stuff to do, to be fair. Just give us 2 players then, before we wrap up, that you would like to see come in the next 3 weeks before the Premier League starts. 2
I got
players.
no idea. No idea. No idea.
Danny's
If I had,
gone. Danny's
if I had to
gone.
go, if I had to go for someone, I'd go for Osman. Go all in Osman. He changes our front line completely. The guy bangs in goals for fun.
Fair
And
play.
the other one, just one. You got 2, don't you? you got another one.
Osman is a number 9, and Savinho or Gakpo off the left. If I had to pick,
Yeah, fair play. That's there you go. Ellie, what are you with?
Right. I don't think our midfield is fixed because, like you said, Maddison's made of glass. I say he's made of paper. So I'd love to get Morgan Gibbs-White in, right, for our midfield because he'll add even more spice there. And then I'd have Gakpo because I've always liked Gakpo. But before he went to Liverpool, I was watching him and I love the way he plays, right? And all right, he dropped off a little bit at Liverpool, but he's got a point to prove now. And I think at Spurs, he's got a fresh start and I think he'll be fabulous for us. Yeah, so those 2 are my picks.
I think the only way you get Morgan Gibbs White is if you chuck Bergbow into the mix as well. I think that's the only way you can get a deal done. If you offer
There's
him
nothing wrong with
Well,
that.
let's get it
There's
done
nothing wrong
then.
with that. I'd snap your hand off.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that's
Morgan
the only
Gibbs-White.
way you could sweeten that deal is if you offer
Just
him a
give him.
player.
Yeah. I'm with Bash. I'd take Gakpo, Savinho. If you go in for Oshiman, yeah, go for it, man. We've got the dough. Persuade him. Whether you can persuade him without Champions League football or not, I don't know, but we'll see. I'm sure Sheriff has set up the redirect now. Big up to the Sheriff.
He has.
Big up
Go
to
on,
everyone who's been on this morning. Really appreciate all of you. Ellie, have you got any bits and pieces coming out on the old what's it called? Socials?
Yeah, I'm always posting things on Twitter. At Spurs are my passion. So anybody who wants to follow me, I'm at Queen Ellie 30 because I liked Bentancur back then. I still like him, but you know, he's not the same player for me. I don't think he's the same player. But yeah, and I've got my TikTok, which is really funny and it's really entertaining. I take the Mickey out of Arsenal. So if you like the banter, you can follow me there, Queen Ellie Coys. Yeah, so everybody just do what you want, and you know what? It's everybody needs supporting, right? And that's why, for me, I like helping others more than I help myself.
Yeah.
And I love promoting for everybody that I like, including you 2 guys, because you're top men. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to this season as well because I'm going to the Hoffenheim game to get my first taste of this Derby ball. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I just got a message from Phil P that he might go. I can twist his arm, right? Because I love going with Phil P. He's really funny, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, and I just feel like everybody needs help. So support these lads. 2 Marks, they're fantastic. They bring out shows that are really cutting and really entertaining,
Well, he
drama
does.
filled, and also, yeah, and they're also to the point and honest as well. And they let everybody talk, which is really great. So big up the 2 Marks.
Thanks,
I
Ellie.
like that.
Appreciate that.
I like that. I just sit with my feet up.
Yeah.
He does. Steve, any DJing coming up, or are you still at it every weekend? Where are you at with that?
It's gone a bit quiet at the minute. I've got a disco on the 15th, which I'm annoyed about because I want to go to the Hoffenheim game, but I can't make it back in time for it, so I can't do it, unfortunately. Yeah, no, it's gone a bit quiet at the moment, but yeah, I echo what Ellie said. Follow the 2 Marks on every day, give up so much time. Nigel at Pure Coys, don't forget Mia at Tottenham's Lone Wolf as well, another great channel. All
Danilist. Come on, the Danilist.
Oh yeah, Danilist as well. Yeah,
I'm just going to plug Maz as well because I know the Tottenham away boys are making.
Returning.
I think it's tonight.
Yeah, they're returning. Come on,
Yes.
Tottenham away.
It's the Tottenham away boys are back on tonight. So
the original crew, is that like, I know it's
Yeah,
Del
Iggy,
and Maz.
yeah, it's
Iggy
the old
on?
crew.
Mari,
Yes, yeah, all of them.
Mari,
Maz,
JP.
Yeah,
JP,
yeah,
and
yeah.
Still.
Yeah,
There you
they're
go.
all back tonight. So that'll
Big
be a
up
good
Tottenham
watch for
away.
everyone. You're going to go over to Mia now. Bash, thanks for coming on, mate. Appreciate it as always. Danny K, thanks for coming on, mate. You know, everyone's always welcome. Really appreciate all of you for coming on today. You're going to
Danny
go
K's
over
a legend.
There you go.
No, he's a liar.
He
Danny
knows
K
it
is
as
a
well.
liar.
He knows it as well, Ellie. Yeah, you're going to go over to Mia now. Just stick in the chat, 2 marks, raid, if you're going over there. And also, make sure to subscribe and like to the channel. We're growing. We're getting there. But as long as you keep hitting the buttons, that's the only way we're going to do it. It's just remember, it's your show at the end of the day. It's your show. It's about you lot and what you lot say. So big up to everyone in the chat. We've had 140 people in here this morning, which is very good for us. So big up to all of you. Big up to everyone who comes on. And no, we're all done over there. As always, I will say, come on.
Spurs.
You Spurs. See you in the morning, everyone, 9:30.